And I have one more thing to tell you. And this is really going to knock your socks off. This is crazy. I've clocked Erica on another lie. A big lie. I went back to my source. Remember I told you when I broke the story and then she had to admit that he texted Dan Flood. First she said, oh, he never texted Dan Flood or whatever. I have his phone. And then I was like, Andrew Colvett told me and my source had access to Dan Flood's messages. Well, Dan Flood, then she admitted he did receive a message, but she said she received that message on a chat that clears, like a Telegram chat. Well, guess what? I went back to that source and they said it was an iMessage. She's lying. Let me say that again for you. She's now twice lied about the Dan Flood message. First, she said it didn't exist. Then she said maybe it did exist, but actually it was on Telegram, which Charlie had set to clear, and that's why she never saw it. That's a lie. It was sent on iMessage between him and Dan Flood, according to my source, who I trust a lot more than I trust Erica because I've clocked her on too many big lies. So, not okay. I'll take you back to the 8th. Let's go to the 8th, September 8th, and I'm going to tell you what's problematic. I had to put together what people said happened on this day, and here's what I've been able to confirm thus far. I have from 10 o'clock a.m. to 11 o'clock a.m., Charlie appears from his home studio. Again, this is all reflecting Arizona local time. On the Charlie Kirk show, that's a full hour on the Salem network. Then Erica told me that she woke up Charlie from his nap. Makes sense because he had just gotten back late the night before from Korea. Okay. Makes sense that he would be napping. She says she woke him up from a nap for his Fox News hit. Again, that's just according to Erica. But the timing of him, the idea of him sleeping at this time makes sense to me is what I'm saying. Then we know Charlie Kirk appears from his home studio on the Ingram Angle. And the show, he shoots it from his house. So he's not going to the office because he's exhausted and jet lag. This is also the day that the article appears in Jezebel regarding that witch's curse. At 5:24 p.m., Erica's alibi to me was that she was just arriving back home, presumably with groceries, but just arriving back home. At 6:06 p.m., she texts Charlie and says dinner is ready. And per Frank, and I want you to listen to what Frank Turek says here. He says that he went on a walk with Charlie this day at 8 o'clock p.m. He says that earlier in the day, he had been with Charlie, but they then went on this long walk, again, because he needed advice about how to debate. I don't know what happened. Charlie suddenly was a day old at debates, and he needed to consult, this sounds like the beginning of a joke, a pastor, a priest, and a rabbi. It literally sounds like the beginning of a joke. A pastor.
File your taxes 100% free in the app if you didn't file with us last year. Just file with
Turek says on Megyn Kelly's show.
You know, the last walk we went on, Megan, was Monday night. So the terrible day was Wednesday. And so we spent some time Monday, and then we both went to dinner. He wanted to have dinner with the family, he's a family man. So he said, hey, can you come back at about 8? We'll go on a walk. I said, yeah, okay. So I came back down at 8, and I texted him. I said, okay, I'm about here. He said, coming out. And then a minute later, he said, shortly, Gigi just got up. So he was obviously taking care of the baby, taking care of his daughter, because that's the kind of person he was. And then we went on this long walk, and there were 2 major issues that kept coming up that he wanted to be better at.
He then goes on to say that Charlie was asking for him advice for how to speak to the college kids about questions about Christ. So again, he's got so many spiritual advisors to help him contend with this. You would think they might have different answers because you got the rabbi doesn't believe in Christ, but he needs to consult him about debate questions. And then he's got Frank Turek, who does believe in Christ. We got the priest. Who, anyways, it's all very confusing. But the interesting part that from that statement is that he says that Charlie had to deal with the kids. Now, I'm not trying to read too much into it, but if he's late coming out for this walk because he has to deal, Gigi got up and he's got to deal with, because he's a great dad, wasn't Erica home? Couldn't Erica have gotten him back down if you had an appointment to make? Perhaps, maybe she was like, no, it's your turn, you deal with it. But the problem I'm having is I have now confirmed with people that live where they live, because they live in a building, that they all saw Charlie. They also saw Charlie on a walk. I have one person who lives there. She ran into Charlie, and he certainly was on a walk, not with Frank Turek, with a tall person who she does not recognize. Charlie stops. They spoke about her dog, and then he told her, like, oh, I'm starting my tour tomorrow. They had a brief chat. Got that on record statement. Now, it's possible Charlie was at first walking with Frank, And Frank then left. So I'm not dismissing that as in Frank's lying, but I am just noting that the person who confirmed they saw Charlie, they confirmed that they saw Charlie and where they saw Charlie and Erica eating on the 9th, seeing Charlie in an elevator. Everything about Charlie is adding up. I cannot get a single person to confirm that they saw Erica, who's apparently out and about. I then thought, wouldn't it make sense? She screams in the middle of a parking lot. She screams in the middle of a doctor's office. Everybody kind of knows where they were when Charlie got shot. Okay, if this doctor's office had people in it, there's going to be someone who said, hey, I heard a giant scream at my doctor's office, even if they didn't see her. And then I looked at my phone, and 15 minutes later, I learned that Charlie got shot. No. She also says that she collapsed in the parking lot. No one thus far has seen that. Nobody in her building has and they all know each other. It's a building. They know Mikey McCoy. People have said, I've seen Mikey McCoy on this date, blah, blah, blah. No one can confirm that they saw Erica on this date where she was behaving super shady and just giving me a very straightforward alibi and pretending like they didn't understand the instructions of this alibi for Fort Huachuca. Something else was going on. I don't buy any of these stories. I don't buy Charlie suddenly needed advice from a pastor, a priest, and a rabbi. It sounds ridiculous, okay? I think something was happening. I think Charlie was fearful of his life. I don't think it was about a Jezebel curse. I think everything that was going on in his day reveals that Charlie was stressed out about pressure that was being put on him regarding Israel. And he was instructing to his team that he was done with them and he was happy to lose money. So it would not track that then, after dealing with this, having a call with the rabbi who should be asleep in Israel, but is staying up to give you advice on a debate, like this couldn't have been a frickin' email, it would follow that he then sent to Andrew Colvett and Dan Flood that they, meaning the Jews, were going to kill him. That's what I believe. That's what I believe happened on that day. And as far as why Erica is lying and covering for Dan Flood, we're gonna need to get to the bottom of that. These are not little lies. These are huge lies. These are big lies. She's covering up for bad people, and it doesn't make any sense. She's welcoming bad people into the foray of Turning Point USA for money. I don't like it. I don't like it at all. And I don't give a shit about who wants to cut me on Instagram and say, oh my God, the heart, I can't believe it. Oh my God, how could you? How could you? How could you? How could any of you continue to stand by this sort of stuff? And this the society that we live in, where good men are being cut down, killed, children are being harmed, people are lying about who Charlie was, what he was going through in the final days, and look up at the people who still have a soul and question their motives. If you are, giving into money and the rest of you guys are joining team Baal worship, that's cool. The rest of us, we'd rather not.